On today's show, the Dallas Mavericks get a third win in a row without Luka Doncic. What did we see from the Mavericks in the first quarter? What can we carry on? And what happened with some of the role players? Talk about that and more on today's Locked On Mavs.
I'm Luka Doncic, and this is Locked On Mavericks.
10 Mavericks, NBA champions. Bang! It's good, and the Mavericks have won the game.
If you don't believe, you shouldn't be here.
Loyalty never fades away.
And welcome. You are locked on to the Dallas Mavericks. My name is Nick Angstadt, media member and NBA channel manager for the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. Thanks for being part of the show and making Locked On Mavs your first listen each and every day. We are free and available on all podcast platforms every day, as well as every post game. All podcast platforms, including YouTube. But the best way you can help us grow the show is to listen every day and to comment anything below. Let us know what's one reason why the Mavericks beat the Kings tonight. There's a bunch of different reasons, but let us know what you think is the reason the Mavericks beat the Kings. Really good win, so we're gonna let it ride. Kyrie Irving traded to the Mavericks 3-0. Okay, one game he didn't play in. We'll count that one, I guess. Dallas Mavericks get the win 122-114. It was one of those games where you just look at it and you're like, okay, well, the Mavericks had a 20-point lead for a while, and then the Kings started making a comeback. And in past iterations of this Mavericks team, I think you would have seen them fold. I think you would have seen Mavericks teams in the past fold in situations like this. Or Luka would just have to bail them out. But the Mavericks had an incredible end of the first quarter, which is how they got the lead. Let's start there. Mavericks got the lead because, all right, 5 minutes and 50 seconds through the first quarter, it was 19-13. And they were like, okay, we're just hanging around. They're just hanging around. Little bit of a lead. And then all of a sudden, 2 minutes left in the first quarter, 35-19. Like a blitz. Just a blitz from the what I guess is now going to be the bench guys. Christian Wood, incredible in that first quarter. Scored all 13 of those points in that first quarter. You had the offense was just running. Like they were moving the ball around. The ball movement, the guys getting open, the guys doing stuff off the ball. The second game in a row we've seen this Mavs offense in the first quarter come out and just look different. Like there were cutters. Christian Wood had two incredible passes to guys that were cutting down the lane. Hardy hit a step back three as the capper at the end of the first quarter. An incredible offensive quarter. The Mavericks score 45 points in the first quarter, and that's kind of what they needed. That's all they really needed the rest of the game. The Blazers or the Kings made a little run at the end there, but the Mavs just needed to get out to that big lead at the beginning, and Kyrie took two shots. Kyrie took two shots in that first quarter. The first quarter was not about, okay, Kyrie Irving coming in. Let's play this game where he ISOs. He's one of the most efficient isolation scorers. The Mavs offense is all isolation. The Mavericks have been running stuff. These last two games, especially in the first quarters, two 40-point first quarters in a row for the Mavericks. They've been running some other plays. We're seeing some stuff actually formulate, and you kind of wonder if having a veteran guy like Kyrie that's been around, that's been, in big playoff games and things like that, if he can kind of coordinate these guys a little bit better than some of the other players we've seen on the Mavericks. It's kind of wild to see how different this team is, and just they feel empowered. Something that a trade like this can do. The word championship is starting to be thrown around. Not like, hey, we're gonna win a championship. There's no guarantees. But they're like, yeah, like I think we can win a championship from the team and the players. Like Luka said today, that's my goal. That being said, there's a confidence in this team now. You make a trade, you get another all-star starter, a guy that is galvanizing the locker room, and now everybody's pumped. Like everybody's pumped in this team now. They were so stagnant, and they were so just, here we go again, back to 0-7 without Luka this year. It was just so stagnant. The offense, even when Luka was out there at times, you're just like, all right, guys, standing around, Luka, bail us out. This trade has just changed so much stuff in 2 games. Josh Green, super empowered Josh Green. Christian Wood's motivated. That first quarter from Christian Wood was incredible. We'll talk about why he didn't play down the stretch a little bit later, but that first quarter was incredible, and it's because of the ball movement. It's because of the opportunities that were given to him. The guy's cutting. He hit him on those 2 incredible passes. He hit some open threes because guys were moving, and he had some open shots. Man, that was an incredible first quarter. Dwight Powell went out with 2 fouls early. He had to sit for a little bit. JaVale McGee came in. He played some great minutes. I thought this was JaVale's best game of the season. JaVale McGee. I need the drop. Come on, where's the drop? Where's the drop?
JaVale McGee.
Wow. I mean, like, this team was different. This team looked different. This team is built different, even though it's essentially the same parts. That's what a trade can do, right? Because now you have 2 things, right? You have the confidence of a guy like Kyrie Irving coming in. Like, all right, we got another guy. We got another guaranteed all-star type guy. And so we're all going to step up. But then there's also, we traded 2 role players that were playing 40 minutes a game. Dinwiddie and Dorian get traded. They were playing 40 minutes a game for the Mavs. Now all of a sudden guys have to step up. Bullock has to step up a little bit. Josh Green has to step up for sure. That's been great for the Mavs. Jayden Hardy, Theo Pinson's playing some more. McKinley Wright. Like, you got these guys that are motivated because they got things to prove in the NBA still. It's kind of nice every once in a while. Now, it will look different in the playoffs, right? We're just talking about right now. But to have some guys that are motivated coming off that bench. Regular seasons are long. It's hard to find motivation night to night. It's hard to find motivations to do a podcast night to night after Mavericks games, let alone go and actually play the games. But the Mavericks are finding that. These guys are finding their motivations. Hardy's like, I'm ready to play in the NBA and prove that I'm an NBA player. McKinley Wright's like, I'm ready to prove that I'm an NBA player. JaVale McGee's like, I'm ready to prove that I can play on this team. Dwight Powell, Tim Hardaway, they're still doing the same thing, but they even look more energized. Josh Green's like, I'm going to prove that I'm a starter and you're not going to miss Dorian Finney-Smith. I'm going to prove to this team that you're not going to miss Dorian Finney-Smith as long as I'm here. As long as I'm here, you're not going to miss him. Now, personally, I will still miss him just as a person. But with his play, Josh Green's been incredible. 17 points, 7 assists, 4 boards, hit a couple threes. Just he's bringing the ball up more. He's handling the ball more. And Nico Harrison gave him an incredible, I think an incredible like vote of confidence. They, reported. We'll talk about Nico Harrison's comments a little bit later this weekend when Isaac comes back. But he was asked about, another third ball handler. Are you looking in the buyout market? And he's like, no. They're like, who's your third ball handler? And this is what he said.
People forget about Frank.
I got you. I got you. I got you. No, he didn't say that. He said, Josh Green's stepping up for us. Josh Green's becoming that third ball handler for us. I did not have Josh Green point guard or Josh Green ball handler on my bingo list at the beginning of this season, let alone like when he got drafted. That's just not the player he was. We knew he could play make, right? We knew he could pass the ball really well. We knew he was an incredible passer. We didn't know he had like a little dribble stuff, like off the dribble moves, floaters, the drive to the rim and stop, and Harrison Barnes jumps and then he gets fouled and goes to the free throw line. We didn't know he had that. And like all of a sudden now that it gets added to this team and you become more dynamic. You add Kyrie, you add Josh Green, your starting lineup becomes more dynamic. All of a sudden you have these starts that the Mavericks have been having. It's been awesome. The ball movement's been great. The Mavericks, with when they got that big lead in the first quarter, 2 minutes left, or let's just do the first quarter. In the first quarter, the Dallas Mavericks had 15 assists to 18 made field goals. That's not a Maverick stat. Like, the calculus has now changed. Isaac and I had all these rules last year. Like, all right, they got to shoot this number of threes. They got to not lose the offensive rebounding battle by this. They have to do, we had all these rules for the Mavericks. And the rules are being changed now. They're being rewritten. It's different for this team now. And I'm so excited to see when Luka comes back. Hopefully Luka comes back Saturday or today whenever you're listening to this. And we get to see Luka and Kyrie together. But for this game, another game without Luka, I honestly think it's been kind of good for this team to play just with Kyrie. A bunch of dudes have to step up. They get acclimated with Kyrie. And then all of a sudden Luka's going to come back. And does Luka have to get acclimated to this team now? Is that where we are? Has this team played well enough? Wins against number 3 and number 6 in the West. Kings and Clippers. Let's talk about that a little bit next. Let's talk about, does Luka have to get acclimated to this team? The answer is probably no, but we'll talk about that coming up. But before we do, let me tell you about Rocket Money. Rocket Money is a app that can help you with your subscriptions. I have tons of subscriptions. I subscribe to something on I was playing Nintendo Switch this weekend, and they have these things where you can download NES games and like Game Boy Advance games and N64 games, but you have to subscribe to like an online thing. And so I did a 7-day trial, and I'm probably going to forget about it, to be honest. I'm probably going to forget about it in 7 days. And then all of a sudden I'll see a charge on my bill and be like, wait, what? You can avoid that kind of stuff with Rocket Money, formerly known as Truebill. It's a personal finance app that helps you find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, helps you lower your bills all in one place. Go check it out. Stop throwing your money away. Cancel unwanted subscriptions and manage your expenses the easy way by going to rocketmoney.com/LockedOnNBA. That's rocketmoney.com/LockedOnNBA. Again, rocketmoney.com/LockedOnNBA. All right, Isaac Harris, let's keep talking about this Dallas Mavericks team. Again, you are locked into the Dallas Mavericks 5-day-a-week Dallas Mavericks podcast, including every single post game. So if the games are on Saturday, we'll still do an episode like I'm doing right now on a Friday night. So let's talk about this team. Does Luka have to acclimate to this team now? That'll be fascinating to see on Saturday. But this team's playing well. The thing that I think hurt them in this game, the offense ran out. Like the offense ran out. They were great in the first quarter. They played incredible, and then the offense just slowly, by quarter ran out. You gotta have one more guy. You gotta have one more guaranteed guy. And guess what? They have that guy. They have him. They have him coming back, and he's going to be able to carry the offense when Kyrie's not out there, and hopefully play in a little bit of a different way. Luka said it himself today. I'm going to have to get acclimated to playing. I can play off the ball. This is what he said. I can play off the ball. I'm going to have to get used to it and work on it because I haven't played off the ball since my rookie year. That's what he said today. It's true. Be interesting, fascinating to see. But this game, let's keep talking about this game and what happened in this one. Couple of big things. Kyrie Irving, 25 points, 10 assists, huge. 3 offensive rebounds. They were mostly really clutch. really clutch. And then 12 of 12 from the free throw line. Having a guy late in the games that'll definitely hit his free throws. Oh, you just love it. You just love it. It's great to see on Dallas Mavericks team when Kyrie Irving on the court is going to hit those free throws. And he did. He hit 4 big ones late, which ended up sealing the game for the Mavericks. Kyrie was not great in the fourth quarter, besides those free throws. There were some mistakes. He dribbled the ball off his foot. He was 0 for 4 from the field. I didn't think he didn't go take over this game, but he was there and gave the game exactly what it needed, right? But he didn't go and take over this game in the fourth quarter, like we would expect. When you've heard a bunch of stats since Kyrie's been traded, you're like, oh, he's the number 1 scorer in the fourth quarter. All right, he's gonna go get a bucket. He struggled in this game. This was not his best game after that first quarter and a couple other moments in this game. He made some mistakes. The Mavericks made a ton of mistakes down the stretch, but Kyrie Irving led the team. He's initiating this ball movement style of offense, and you gotta love it. 10 assists for him. Led the game. He had 10 assists. The Kings had 21. That's how different these teams played tonight. Couple other guys. Let's talk about Christian Wood, okay? Because this is something that I think people may be confused on. So Christian Wood plays that first quarter. He goes out there, leads the team, 13 points, 2 awesome assists, hits a couple of threes, plus 18 when he plays in those minutes. He only played 5 minutes in that first quarter, and you're like, all right, here we go. This is the Christian Wood that wants the revenge. And he played great. And I think that's the type of role Christian Wood's going to get, is come off the bench, destroy these second units. Play the Bobby Portis role that Milwaukee plays him in. Destroy these second units. Be the mismatch against the second units. And then, start of the second quarter, he's out there for 2 minutes, forces the shot. I wrote down in my notes, Christian Wood lost the plot. He's trying to force the offense. He lost the plot. He didn't realize what got him that offense going in the first place. And then defensively, he was just hurting them a lot. I think one of the reasons why Christian Wood didn't play a lot in this game, JaVale McGee came in the game before him. JaVale McGee closed the game more so than Christian Wood did in this one because of Domantas Sabonis. Sabonis was going to kill Christian Wood in this game. And I think Jason Kidd wanted to have more size. But Christian Wood also, I think, played himself out of this game. The mistakes, forcing his own offense, the defense, missing some rotations, just getting beat on a couple of drives and things. And I think he played himself out of this game. It's tough. It's tough when coaches don't trust you to do things because you're going to make mistakes and to come back and like prove them wrong. Like you got to prove a big sample size for Christian Wood now. So that's why Christian Wood didn't play in this game. He was great in the first quarter, gave him great stuff. One of the reasons why they won this game. But I think it was on him that he didn't get a lot of playing time. Like, what did he play in the second half? Christian Wood played in the second half 5 minutes. He played 5 minutes in the first quarter, 5 minutes in the second half. And he was frustrated. You could see his body language. He's going to be frustrated at times like this. This is where he is. And if JaVale McGee is going to actually be good, then his minutes are even more diminished. Let's talk about JaVale McGee, though. I mean, who is this guy?
JaVale McGee.
This is the guy that when Isaac at the beginning of the season was so high on the Christian Wood signing, I was like, hey, this is going to be so good for them. Just having somebody else that can block a shot, that can get a rebound, that can be big in the paint is going to be such a difference for this team. This is the type of player that Isaac envisioned because this is the player that JaVale McGee was in Phoenix last year. He played almost 19 minutes, 11 points. He had 9 boards, 4 of them on the offensive end, a couple of assists. Didn't have any block shots, but altered a couple. And he had a couple where he forced the ball and like forced a drive, and he made one of them and missed another one badly and forced like a mid-range shot. And like, I guess that stuff comes with Christian Wood, with JaVale McGee. That stuff comes with JaVale McGee. But I thought JaVale McGee played really well. This is probably his best game of the season. He didn't block a ton of shots, but if JaVale McGee's back, that's huge for this team. They needed another big. We were looking at the buyout market, and I was not impressed with any of the names. Dwayne Dedmon, Serge Ibaka. Even Kevin Love, if he gets bought out, like these names are just not, and Nerlens Noel even, like they're not inspiring a lot of stuff, like a lot of excitement in me. JaVale McGee's played in playoff games. There's a chance JaVale McGee, if he is rejuvenated now because maybe of the Kyrie thing or something else, or just because it's second half of the season, if he's rejuvenated, he could play playoff minutes, and the Mavs need somebody else to play playoff minutes. We've seen Dwight Powell try to play it in playoff games. Maybe JaVale McGee becomes that too. Great game from him. Jayden Hardy, let's go. Little taste.
Hardy, let's go party.
Jayden Hardy played a lot more confidently in this game. He came off the bench, played about 20 minutes, 12 points, plus 15 in this game. He only had 1 turnover. He hit 4 threes, just confident playing off the ball. He hit that step back 3 at the end of the first quarter that like capped off that incredible quarter for the Mavericks. He had some really good moments in this game. There's the moment I want to point out about Jayden Hardy that you just love to see. You love to see from Jayden Hardy is around 8 minutes in the second quarter. He has a one-on-one with Malik Monk. Guy can get his own shot. And Jayden Hardy stays in front of him, plays great defense, doesn't foul, and Monk misses the shot over him. You love to see a moment like that. Then on the other end, Jayden Hardy drives and kicks it out to Josh Green for an open 3. Like that sequence right there is so big for a guy like Jayden Hardy to prove that, all right, this is something he can do in the NBA. To play great defense like that against the playoff team in the Kings, and then do a driving kick on the other end. Like you need to put those, like string some of those plays together. Green missed the shot, but JaVale McGee got the tip out, tipped it right back to Kyrie. He hit a 3. The Mavericks, like around that time, Mavericks got their biggest lead of 24 points. Jayden Hardy was huge in this game. Those 4 threes were massive. And it's good to see him start stringing some really solid plays together. Talked about Josh Green. Man, just seeing his development. Okay, another couple of weird things in this game. Theo Pinson getting 7 minutes in the fourth quarter. Like, what happened? Is it just that? I kind of wonder if it's just, okay, Kyrie's played with Theo Pinson before. Maybe he'll be comfortable in the fourth quarter playing with a guy he's played with before. And Theo did play well in the fourth quarter against the Clippers. Like, he hit those threes. He scored 9 points in the fourth quarter. So maybe Jason Kidd does try to do this every once in a while. I've noticed the last 2 years. If somebody plays well the game before that doesn't normally play, he'll give him a shot in the second game, which I think is probably a player's thing. Like, Jason Kidd was a player, and so Jason Kidd played in the NBA. He played in the NBA. Jason Kidd played in the NBA, and so he probably knows, all right, if I play good one game and then I don't get played by the coach the next game, that really probably hurts a guy's confidence. And so Jason Kidd played him in this game. He's done that a lot this season. He did it with McKinley Wright this year. He did it with Jayden Hardy. He's done it with Josh Green and other guys this season. If they play well one game, he plays them a little bit more the next game, or gives them at least another shot. So Theo Pinson played late. He didn't do a ton, but I didn't think he hurt them too much in the fourth quarter. He had one defensive play where he just totally let the Kings drive right to the rim, and you're like, wait, what are you doing? Are you out there for defense? Are you out there for playmaking? Then he launched a long three late in the shot clock. The Mavericks offense kind of went to crap late in this game. Down the stretch, the mistakes on both ends were so big. The Kings had a chance. Kings had a real chance to win this game. They were mounting a comeback. So towards the end of the Mavericks were just keeping them, letting them stay around. They cut it to 10 with 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Then all of a sudden, they're letting them stay around. Mavericks are making mistakes. You have Kyrie with a travel late in the shot clock. Theo Pinson with held on the ball too long with a shot clock violation. And then the Kings went on a 9-0 run, and it's okay, all of a sudden this is an 8-point game. This is he's not good. Kings were getting momentum. The Kings crowd. There was one lady, if you listen to the Bally Sports broadcast, there's one lady that was screaming right behind Followell and Harp's mics, literally in the seats right behind them. And she was just screaming the whole time, force a turnover! Force a turnover! Let's go, Kings! Just screaming. And the crowd all of a sudden got into it. Fourth quarter, midway through the fourth quarter, the Mavericks were couldn't score. The Kings are starting to mount a comeback. And then all of a sudden, the Kings just started making a ton of mistakes. Dwight baited Domantas Sabonis into a couple of big fouls. And he ended up fouling out late in this game. You had the De'Aaron Fox with 4 minutes left, go 0 of 2 from the free throw line. You had Kevin Huerter miss a free throw late. Kevin Huerter with 3 minutes left had the travel that was huge. And then the Mavericks got some big plays from Kyrie, drive and kick to Tim Hardaway with 6 minutes left. Huge three, momentum swinging three. 4 minutes and 30 seconds left. Kyrie drive, kicks out to Bullock, who hit a step back pump fake three and hit it. Kept the Mavericks lead at 10. That was a big moment. Kyrie, 3 minutes and 55 seconds left, gets an offensive rebound. Mentioned that those were huge earlier. Hits both of his free throws. Those are the clutch free throws I mentioned. Extends the lead to 12. And then another good play where Tim Hardaway Jr. got a layup off of a Kyrie Irving dribble handoff with Dwight diving in there and kind of sealing the paint off for him. And Tim Hardaway got a layup because everybody was focused on Kyrie. And that actually almost sealed the game. Then Sabonis fouled out, and then it was done. Good win for the Dallas Mavericks. We'll continue to talk about this team. Luka should be back. We got the tease. Shams teased us. Shams Charania reported that Luka was supposed to play in this game on Friday night against the Kings. And then Luka practiced. His heel didn't feel great. He felt some soreness afterwards. And so then he didn't play. And now he wasn't going to play. They hope that he's going to play against this Kings game. This Kings game is actually pretty big for the Mavericks. If they win this game against the Kings, they win the season series against the Kings. They also will be tied with the Kings in the standings, so they could move to 3 in the West. That's big because they're a game back from the Kings right now. They're a game back from the Kings. They're 1-0 against the Kings this season. They have one more game against them in March. So if they win this, they win the season series. That's the tiebreaker in the standings. They also move up to 3, the first game with Luka and Kyrie. This is a pretty big game. You're not calling it a must-win this late this early, I guess, in the regular season still. But this would be a really good win. Wouldn't be a terrible loss, but it would be a really great win if the Mavericks can get away with it. I think they're going to be so energized. You saw Luka post on Instagram a picture of him and Kyrie, and then another picture of Jason Kidd coaching Luka, and then Kyrie in the corner with the ball. And Luka's stoked. Luka is excited for Kyrie. He's excited to have somebody else on the team with him that he respects. He's had all these guys that, in their defense, have earned his respect. Brunson, Dinwiddie, Dorian, Dwight, have earned his respect. Kyrie comes in and already has it. That's a huge difference, and I'm excited to see that in this game, hopefully against the Kings. Hopefully they get a win. It would be really big. Isaac and I will have a post game for you. Guys, thanks so much for listening to Locked On Mavs. Peace out. Boom!